Hi, this is Gustav from Elk. This video will be a very brief introduction to Sushi. Sushi is the audio engine and DAW, digital audio workstation, running in Elk Audio OS. It's a live-oriented DAW. Think main stage more than, say, Logic or Ableton Live. Though, the thing that sets it apart the most from those programs is that this is a headless application. So it does not have a GUI, and it does not load the editor of your plugins. But it is fully controllable over a bunch of protocols, mainly gRPC, but also MIDI and OSC, and it loads plugins in VST2, VST3, and LV2 formats. And it's highly optimized for running in an Elk Audio device, but it also runs on natively on macOS, on Windows, and on Linux. It is also open source under dual GPL and commercial license, and you can find all the code on GitHub, but only if you're curious. To use it in a product, you don't need to look at the code. When you're building a product with Elk, the way that you get your DSP code running on an Elk device is typically you wrap it into a plugin, a VST or LV2 plugin. You compile that using our cross-compiling SDK, and then you load it into Sushi, and Elk handles the rest. You load it either as a static configuration at startup or dynamically while Sushi is running. For a static configuration, you write the JSON file, something like this, that has some top-level configuration, and then it lists all the tracks to be loaded and all the plugins that should go on each track, some MIDI routing, initial parameter values, etc. So all of that will be loaded at startup. So we can see Sushi is a command line application. We can run it, and we can see that there's a bunch of options here, but the minimal configuration to get Sushi running is you need to set two things. You need to set an audio front end. On Mac, this would typically be Core Audio. On Windows, it would probably be Port Audio. On an Elk device, it will be Raspa, which is our proprietary low latency audio API. The other thing you need to pass is the JSON configuration file that we looked at earlier. If we do that, we start Sushi. And since it does not have a GUI, there's not that much to see. If you're building an Elk device with a screen, you would typically run the screen GUI as a separate process that would talk gRPC or some other protocol, either directly to Sushi or to a glue app, a middleman broker kind of thing. But we will show examples of that in future videos. What we do have built though is a separate example GUI that we built with PySide, which is cute for Python, that talks gRPC to Sushi. And if we run that, we can see all the tracks, we can see all the plugins on the tracks, all the parameters of every plugin, and we can edit them, we can set the mixing, we can even load and delete plugins through this GUI. So there you have it. That is our 3-minute introduction to Sushi, and we will go into a lot more details in future videos. Thank you for watching. Bye.